Hi, this is Art Koch of Arthur Koch Management Consulting. Want to spend a few minutes talking to you about inventory reduction and inventory velocity. Through my career, through my 30-plus year career, I have reduced inventory a total of $207 million. On average, by location, 23%, increased service level or point service average 18.5%, and most recently I just finished with a client where we reduced inventory over $50 million, 24%, and the service level on that's to be determined. I want to walk you through how I go about doing this, and I think this will apply to what you can do within your business. First thing is, in most cases, we implement a new software package. Most recently, we implemented Tools Group SO99 Plus. Other places I've implemented JDA, which was known as E3 Trim many years ago, Demand Solutions, or Kanban pull systems that are manual, however, very functional. It depends on the business that you're dealing with. What we did was, the first element was putting the software package in, you enable what I call the levers. And the levers are things that you can do systematically. Within putting in a software system, it increases the professionalism of the business. What we search for is a visible dashboard or a visible workflow for the planners to where they can do their jobs much easier. Another element that we look for is flexibility, responsiveness, and how it can conform the software package. Another element is you want to have the software package that's able to do safety stock analysis for you to determine what your safety stock should be based on your demand variability, your supply variability, and what service level you're looking to get. So you want to make sure you get that out of a software package. The other element that you want to make sure you get is increasing the order frequency, able to do minimum and multiple order parameters. You want to be able to adjust your service level, and you want to make sure the system is exception-based planning. And what I mean by exception-based planning is that the planner walks in their job every day and it tells them what they need to do based on if inventory was reduced by either cycle counting or orders going out or new work orders. If the supplier is late or they deliver early, it tells them what to do based on that exception, and it's done every day or it is done real time. You want to improve your forecast accuracy, and you want to look for a software package depending on the size of your business, but is capable of multi-echelon inventory optimization. And the first two I talked about with E3 Trim and also Tools Group, they are capable of that. Then what we did was, what I do is I go into what I call the supply chain, what supply chain people do. And this is where we get involved with the actual management of what's happening. First part was system, software, the levers. Then you get into the supply chain end, and this is the brute force that you have to work through and fight within to make things happen. The first element that you need to have to be successful is you have to have team engagement. This is executive senior management, sales, finance, operation, and quality. They have to come in together, because too often people think about inventory velocity as just being a materials management, a procurement, or a supply chain function. It takes everybody in the organization to be this. You have to look at it from the top, the bottom, and you have to be zealots to make this happen. Now, there's a big element that I always work on with my clients. I call it sludge. And within this last team that I worked with, they were able to get customers to take responsibility for some inventory that had been sitting there for years. They got sales that got extremely involved with the customers, and they also sold some of it off to third-party businesses that needed this inventory, but they could not sell it at regular prices. Quality got involved. They cleared out their hold areas, they cleared out their rejection areas, and at the same time they improved their processes to where it improved the velocity through those locations, and at the same time fixed the elements behind the scenes to where it did not go in there in the first place. All right, and then slow moving mindset changes, and that's all about things that we talked about here, the system, and improving different avenues of the business. And I'll talk about that in a second. Clearing out obsolescence. A lot of companies sit there and they'll keep the obsolescence inside their four walls of their warehouses, their DCs, their stock rooms, holding up valuable space that could be used for value added where it's been written off the books completely. Get it out of there, sell it for scrap, because it's just costing you money, getting in the way of real value added business. What we focused also on, supplier early and late deliveries. We don't want suppliers delivering early because we don't need it. We don't want them delivering it late because we need to expedite it in, and it might be needed for a job, and it might cause you to change a production line to where you can build something in its place. The biggest element is you want to reduce the variability of that supply coming in, because that variability, the higher variability, causes your safety stocks to be higher. The whole thing is reducing your inventory, reducing variabilities. Cleaned up old POs and old work orders. Too often people let them lay out there. Every place I've been to, they let them lay. And it just causes noise in the system, and it causes you have to do manual things to where you have to not look at them and avoid them. We got really after supplier lead times, all right? People do not realize the importance of lead times. We got extremely after supplier lead times. And we shifted and we went after 1 to 2 week lead times, but this is not shifting the inventory responsibility to the supplier. This was reducing the entire pipeline of inventory, okay? So what we did was we set up 2 to 3 year strategic agreements, or the procurement team did that. Then they stopped making as many spot buys for repetitive manufactured parts. You only want to do spot buys if demand runs up real high and you have to go outside your normal network, but you don't want to have something you buy all the time doing a spot buy on that. All right. Give the suppliers a 52-week forecast. In that 52-week forecast, we give them a raw material authorization, a work in process authorization, a finished goods authorization. Then the rest beyond that was for planning functions. But by giving them that, they were better able to plan their business, their raw materials, their capacity, their people, and that allowed them to feel like that they knew that they were in partnership with us, instead of doing these spot buys, and they felt more comfortable and they could change the way they run their business. Reestablished EDI, electronic data exchanges, barcoding standards, put that with all these suppliers, and that helped them streamline their business, streamline the information coming into us, and greatly improve the data flow. Focused on minimum order quantity, reset that to where we could reduce how much we were bringing in. Instead of bringing in 90 days, 120 days, we are now bringing in 1 week or 2 weeks at a time. And let's see, daily PO reviews, reviewing the POs every day to make sure that we don't have something wrong with the levers behind the scenes to where we're ordering too much. And last, compressed new product introduction, streamline the process with the teams. Now, this is many groups of people that did this, but it was an entire team of people that did it. And the important point is, if you remember all this, you can call me, we can walk through it, and we'll work on it together, but it was a team. So, why inventory? Why a new system? It's the competitive advantage companies need, especially large 100, 200, 300, $2 billion businesses. You want to focus on the demand planning aspect of it, the inventory and network optimization of your inventory to where you're able to reduce it, control it, gives you the analytics to where you know how you're going to manage it, and replenishment planning. aspect. Those are the three main elements of that. When you set up and you go after this, you want to look at the ROI that you're going to return to the business. And through doing that, these are some of the numbers you should be looking at. These are the reality of what you can get from service and fill rates, somewhere between a 5 and 20% improvement. All right. A key element a lot of times is people forget the lumpy, the incremental demand items, how bad their service level is on those. And what happens is these tools will make you world class in that area so long as you focus on it. Shortage outages or part outage duration by decreasing that time 50%. We're all going to run out of parts once in a while. Safety stock doesn't guarantee you're going to run out of parts. It's nature of all businesses. You're going to run out once in a while. That's okay. However, you want to compress the duration of that. Inventory velocity, you should be looking at improving your inventory velocity 20 to 40%. That's a 20 to 40% reduction. The next thing is forecast accuracy. Forecast accuracy, how I laid it out, you want to look at compressing your lead times, all right, to where that forecast isn't as important, to where the supplier can use the forecast for long-range planning. By doing that, you can improve by 5 to 10%, okay? Then the next element is creating a standard process. If you're a multinational business that has planning functions on multiple continents or on other ends of continents, you want to have a standard process. Standard process, one system across the entire enterprise. With that, folks, that's how you reduce inventory over $200 million. That's how you improve service level across all aspects of the business, okay? Please give me a call. Ask me some questions about this. We can talk in further detail. But if you really want to focus on inventory velocity, become a champion in that area, follow this process. It's worked for me. I've refined it. It works. So thanks a lot. Thanks for listening to me. Have a wonderful day.